Well, well, well. Hatman and I are back, and we have more people with us. I don't know if we can officially call this a posse yet, but regardless, this week, and well, on the first week of On the Grind, we'll be discussing some interesting things, like Satan, and bread tubers. I don't really know if there's that much of a difference between the two, but we're going to find out, goddammit. And I could also say the same thing about Harvey Weinstein's former assistant. But getting to all that and more this week on the Grind. Alright. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, On the Grind is the official podcast of Grindstone Arts, which is owned by myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is micahcurtis, your favorite vanilla gorilla. And then, of course, to everybody else's right and my left, the vice president of this company, the great Hatman.
The wonderful Hatman.
Yes. We also have our head of the reconstruction, and I haven't updated his thing yet to say head of logistics, Xavier.
Hello.
We have our social media manager, Serena.
Hi.
And then, of course, our editor-in-chief and mighty shaman, Mike.
Hello.
So, let's go ahead and get into this. So the format, for those of you who have never listened to a podcast that Hatman and I have done before, the basic format is that every week we're going to do a review of something, try to keep it under 10 minutes, to talk about what's going on, or what we've imbibed media-wise over the last week, the pluses, the minuses, and whether or not it's worth your damn time. And with this one, I'm a little bit surprised by it. So, I have an interesting relationship with the Diablo franchise, because I played it back. I didn't have a PC for gaming until I was in college, which was back in 2004. So I've been a PC gamer for a while. But if you think about it, like the first 18 years of my life, we didn't even have the internet at my house. So Diablo is not something I even tried until I was in college. And I think, I've played Diablo. I've never played the original. I've played through Diablo 2 my sophomore year of college because I was doing everything I could that year to avoid homework. And then I played Diablo 3 when it came out because it looked like fun. And it was fun. Though, for a dark fantasy story about the fucking devil, essentially, trying to invade heaven and tear it down, it had a surprisingly light color palette. Which was sort of like, I don't know. It's sort of like if Berserk had, I don't want to say if Berserk was done by Cal Arts. That's mean.
They'll never be that good no matter how hard they try.
How would I put this? I'm trying to think of a... Okay, if Berserk was in Naruto's color palette. That's the best way I could describe the look of Diablo 3. It's obviously just as violent as a lot of other dark fantasy. It's, nice and all fucked up and stuff. But very light in its palette, which was very weird. Well, Diablo 4 was supposed to be a return to form. The trailer that came out, I want to say it was either at BlizzCon or at E3, I don't remember, for Diablo 4 was gloriously fucked up. Fairly well thought out. Blizzard always has these really good fucking, trailers and CG movies and stuff, and people have been begging for them to do a full-length film for years. And then the game comes out. I was not an early adopter on this one. And I'm kind of glad that I wasn't. Because from what I hear, it was a fucking slog. That basically, if you wanted to get to level 50, by the time that the story was over, you had to do almost all of the side quests. And this was the first time that Diablo had, RPG-style side quests. You have your hub city, you go, you talk to a person, you go fetch a thing, and then you come back. And it's like, okay, that does not sound appealing at all. Because in Diablo, the basic premise is very simple. You are class whatever. You're a barbarian or a fucking assassin or an Amazon or I almost said necrophiliac. A necromancer. Or something like that. You go around, you kill shit to get to the boss. Then the story takes you in a different direction. You kill everything in your way to get to the boss. All while upgrading your equipment as monsters, every time you blow them up, drop new and shiny things. It's a pretty simple premise. And by adding a bunch of extra shit to it, it's sort of like, you know, you have that one reliable meal. The thing that you eat whenever there's nothing else to eat. You know, for me, it's a cheeseburger. And for me, I'm a simple lad. Give me a double smash burger with cheese, toast the bun, ketchup on the bottom and top bun. I'm happy at that point. Now, if you put peanut butter on it, I'm liable to fucking kill you. Because that's just fucking not right. Not that I've ever tried peanut butter on it. It's just like, I just picked an ingredient that came to mind first. But,
pineapple on your pizza, you filthy heretic.
Now, to be fair, I don't like pineapple by itself on pizza. It's got to be with ham. And even then, it doesn't really mix well with mozzarella. I kind of feel like jalapeno works better with like cheddar. So if I was making like a taco pizza, jalapenos I think would fit for that. But regardless, this is one of those things where it's like, don't fuck with the formula that works, you know, because sometimes experimentation can be good. Sometimes it can suck a giant dick. Well, with this current season of Diablo 4, because I've been rambling for 6 minutes about dicks and cheeseburgers, the season that they dropped out.
My interest is peaked. What?
Oh my god. Anyway,
Cheeseburger in paradise.
Christ. So with Diablo 4, they put out a new season, and they did the one thing that they needed to do from the get-go. If you play through the story from beginning to end, lo and behold, you will be at the very level you need to be to do the post-game gear grind if you so choose to do so. And what was really nice is I actually got to enjoy the story, which it's pretty stock standard dark fantasy. You know, demon is coming back to Earth to fuck everything up or cause an apocalyptic event. Your job is to go stop the apocalyptic event from happening. In this particular case, the whole lore of Diablo is that a demon named Lilith and an angel whose name escapes me at the moment had a baby. That was a Nephilim. Then they had more of them because they really like each other a lot. See, Serena, when mommy and daddy really like each other, they tend to... never mind. But then they created the whole planet for the Nephilim to live on, and, you know... Basically, this lady has concluded that, you know, fuck all of it. Like, this is all fucked up. It's not going to work. Let's hit the reset button on this. And she gets a moron to try to do it with her. So overall, Diablo 4 as it is now, you can get it for free on Games Pass. It is shockingly good. You know, if you essentially wanted an evolution from Diablo 2, but with a lot more like quality of life shit in it that's, you know, more akin to modern gaming, but with that Diablo 2 style look and blood and guts and storyline, yeah, like, try it out. It is, like, shockingly enjoyable for a game that was in development for 5 years, but apparently didn't actually become a game until, like, a year and a half ago. Because the development was that bad. It's almost like you shouldn't create Cosby rooms and shit when you're trying to do a fucking job, you idiots.
Wait, what?
Do we have to explain what a Cosby room is?
Well,
Oh,
Serena
yes, the
just-
Cosby room.
I know
Serena-
what Cosby room is.
Well, do you know what it is in context of
What
Blizzard?
about
though?
what were they doing?
Okay, so
Oh,
they had a room at Blizzard where they worshipped Bill Cosby. But unfortunately, as a result of Bill Cosby's later years in which he was accused of and successfully tried for the drugging and raping women, it has taken on sort of a really rough connotation. And they had a Bill Cosby room, and Blizzard previously also did some really heinous shit with women, including in driving a woman to suicide, if I remember correctly, as well.
Yeah.
did
That-
they steal a woman's breast milk?
Yep.
Oh god, yeah, there was that too. It's one of those
Jesus
weird
Christ.
things. Yeah, like the shit that went on there. Some of it almost sounds like parody. Like fucking really, like but it happened. You know, I'm not gonna like. Just the one thing that is funny about it to me, not that any of it's actually like funny that what happened to people, but the one thing that at least we got a meme out of it. Whenever Blizzard does something that kind of seems like they're trying to distract away from the controversy, it's somebody will post this meme that says, "Now I don't think that this is going to get people to forget about the sexual assault." So,
It's in the news again. New gay Overwatch character.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Tracer's gay, but she already was gay. She's gayer now. So, yeah. But needless to say, yeah. Diablo 4, shockingly worth playing, especially in co-op with a friend. But if you want to ignore the post-game stuff, if you just want something to like burn like a day of playing a video game with, it's basically good for that. I wouldn't say that it's good for like if you want to do a bunch of post-game shit, unless you're really into that sort of a grind, you know, which I am not at this point in my life. I like try to work for a living. Like, you know, it's still fun. I am gonna try the expansion when it comes out because I just like fucked up dark fantasy. So it's the same reason why I'm actually like giving my time to watch House of the Dragon. Is I just like fucked up dark fantasy. All right. Speaking of fucked up dark stuff, Dr. Disrespect.
Oh goodness, what a terrible situation.
Yeah, this has been an interesting kind of a way that this all played out. So,
It's been a roller coaster.
yeah, like out of the blue, some dude goes on to I guess we call it Twitter now, or just X, but they go on to
I'm
X.
dead naming it. It's Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah, ex Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So they go on to Twitter, and the guy in question, let me find his name real quick, was
Former Twitch employee.
Yeah, former Twitch employee who still streams on Twitch, named Cody Connors. He was having no interaction on any of his tweets for some number of time, some good amount of time. This is a guy who has, how many tweets was it? It's a profound amount. Been on Twitter half as long as I have, and he's tweeted thousands upon thousands of times. 33,000 times. Just like for comparison's sake, I've been on Twitter. I was an early adopter of Twitter. The amount of tweets that I have is, yeah, I've been on Twitter for like 5 years longer than this guy. I only have 5,000 more posts than him. That's wild to me. But anyway, dude comes out and accuses Dr. Disrespect of sexting a minor in the this is a quote from his Twitter, in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. It said here he was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon, The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. Now here's the gimmick. Hatman. Accosting a minor through any sort of means. That is a felony, correct?
It actually depends on the state. It's more of a state issue. Now, what he would be charged for in most scenarios is solicitation of a minor, and in some states, it doesn't necessarily have to be a minor. They just have to believe that it was a minor, and we'll get to that later on about whether or not it actually was a minor he was talking to. But in almost all cases, this is just solicitation, which is, yes, a felony in almost all cases.
Okay. So that's relevant to how I look at this, because the good doctor said, listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday. Now, this ended up only being about half true. So we understand. Because later he came out and said, yes, I did have a conversation with a minor. However, it was not an illegal conversation, but it wasn't appropriate. It's a very broad statement, to say the least.
It's the freaking to catch a predator defense.
It really is.
I might have messaged her, but I didn't intend to actually meet up with her. It doesn't matter that I was going to the same place that she was supposed to be. I was just trying to be your friend. Yeah.
Now, and the place that we're at with it is like, or kind of like, from what I understand, where it comes in from a legal perspective, is that what was the intent of the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
If the conversation was locker room humor or something like that, or a sex joke was mentioned, is that appropriate? No, especially for a man who's married. And I don't think he had his kids yet, or his kid, but it's not appropriate. Morally speaking, it's wrong. In most moral systems, on Earth, it's wrong to do such a thing. But illegal is a whole different thing. And the initial accusation of trying to meet up with this person would be very illegal. So then we have another person that comes around, who says, this guy goes by Relib, former Twitch employee, streams on Twitch. He says, the Dr. Disrespect situation. I don't think most people have an idea of how bad things were behind the scenes at Twitch. I literally worked in the department that had access to the most data and information. I saw private whispers, etc. It was literally my job to investigate daily. I saw things every single day that I wish I never had to see. I always advocated for being a good human. Always expressed with heavy emotion on my streams how Twitch let pedophiles run free every day. I signed an NDA and afraid to get in trouble, but I have to say something. It's been bothering me so long. These sick fucks don't deserve to be free. Now, the only person he names is Dr. Disrespect. But he doesn't actually say what happened there. And he says that Twitch was constantly in contact with law enforcement whenever these things would pop up. So, to me, that brings about a question. Well, first off, just by saying that, aren't you breaking your NDA? That's the first question. The second one is that if you're in consistent contact with the law enforcement, why is no one getting arrested? And number three, out of this particular statement, you want to know what rings in my head the most? It's not the Dr. Disrespect thing. It's the idea that Twitch, the most well-known streaming platform on the fucking planet, is apparently pedophile central.
If you consider the amount of what they're aiming for, I mean, especially with how they treat their they're more overtly sexual female performers on the platform.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and on top of that, like their audience is there's probably a lot of underage, like people under the age of 18 there, because all you have to do on Twitch to get into a live stream that is designated as mature content is click a button that says I understand and wish to continue. They're not age gating you. It's more of like a content warning. And I could speak to have been a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old boy and wanting to see some titties. So yes, I definitely consent to this. Click. But I wasn't old enough to consent. But the overall point being that we don't know what Dr. Disrespect did exactly. We know what he did was morally wrong because he owned up to it. We don't know if it was illegal, and I wonder if it actually was for one particular reason. Twitch actually settled. If what he did was illegal, there is no settlement. There is, we call the cops, we present the evidence, you go to jail, we don't have to pay you a fucking thing. Unless there was, like, and this would boggle me if there wasn't one, is there no morality clause in these contracts?
It's a bit of an oversight, honestly.
Yeah, you've gotten rid of somebody allegedly because you're alleging they're committing a crime, and yet you've not reported said crime. Just gonna let it go. This crime is so heinous you can't do it here. But whatever, just go do it somewhere else. Just not here.
Yeah, like something's not adding up for me personally. Now, we don't know all the facts yet.
Yeah, and you've got that rumor, too, that some Twitch staff were allegedly posing as underage girls and, you know, To Catch a Predator style, trying to entrap some people to bust them, basically. And while that is legally dubious, like, it could be true. I'm not saying it absolutely is, but it could be true in the sense that Dr. Disrespect could have found out that it was an entrapment, and he said, well, if this gets out, this would open y'all up to what's the term? Not disparagement, but defamation case. Because his reputation would be absolutely ruined if it got out. And it would be by Twitch's own doing. So Twitch, you know, in their infinite wisdom, would have to settle with him and keep everything confidential if indeed the honey trap rumors are true.
Well, it's more the defamation would be a lot easier to prove because he'd be able to show material damages.
Yeah, especially right now. Because after this happening, he is completely demonetized on YouTube. He's been streaming on YouTube.
He's lost sponsorship deals. His company parted ways with him. Yeah, it's caused financial damage to him.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I have a feeling that during this long break, and there's been other rumors about it, like there was a rumor going around spread by fucking Hassan, because of course, that he was like getting arrested, which that ended up not being the case. Stuff like that, but the fact of the matter is that more than likely in this long vacation that he's taking, you know, obviously he was already planning a vacation. I have a feeling that part of this vacation is having a long conversation with his lawyer. Because, and I'm going to be honest about this before we move on to the next topic, I don't think we were hearing the end of this. And I want to say this to all the journalists out there, from as high up as Rolling Stone all the way down to the Kotakus of the world. The fact that none of you bitches are asking for these whistleblowers to tell you more about how a company, Twitch, the biggest streaming platform on the planet, owned by the second biggest company on the planet, of the Fortune 500, Amazon is number 2. They are Fortune 2, god damn it. How this company is pedophile central. And you're stopping the story at the dude with a fucking mustache, a wig, and a tack vest. Are you fucking serious right now? What kind of journalists are you?
You think you hate game journalists, but the truth is you don't hate them enough.
I've never hated them enough. Hatman can attest to this.
No, it has never been enough.
No. Fuck them all. Why did I not install the Exterminatus button on this new platform? God damn it. And have that for next
We
week.
need a fucking button, too.
Yeah, I need that too. God damn it.
Apparently somebody already hit that button. Those journalism jobs are very quickly vanishing.
I'm just hoping that...
Lost.
I'm looking forward to the day that Alyssa Mercante loses her job. Because she's a white woman. She looks exactly like another white woman that we know. Almost exactly like her. So, when that happens, I will be laughing. Not to mention, I will also say this. As a guy who has been in fights, I literally got up and kicked somebody's ass in the middle of a live stream called Bully Night. People can attest to this. They actually saw the aftermath. Do not invite trouble that you cannot deal with. Don't tell people to come fucking fight you if you're not actually going to fight people. Jesus Christ, lady. Calm the fuck down.
Now I remember that what should have been a challenge for an organized fight then quickly became a, how about you come meet me in this dark place where nobody will see what happens when you come here, and like you're trying to pull somebody into like an unregulated street fight? No.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Not to mention, here's the thing about an unregulated street fight. If you get concussed, the procedure after a concussion, they have to keep you awake for a while. So if you get concussed in an alley and the other person just walks away and there's nobody else there, you could literally die. Do not be stupid, people. Do not be that dumb.
Well, also, if you concuss somebody in a regulated fight, it's just treated as a training incident, even if you suffer like long-term damage or even death. It's like this
because you consented to it.
However, right, you consented to it. In an unregulated street fight, and you concuss somebody, well, it can be listed as murder or attempted murder.
Exactly. So, on that note, speaking of murder, we're going to talk about franchise murder.
Oh, terrible.
Yes. So, have any of us watched The Acolyte?
God, I just avoided that fire altogether.
No, except for the clips of the power of one, the power of two.
The
That's
power
pretty much
of
it.
many.
The power of you.
I canceled Disney Plus back in November, so I have not kept up with anything. And
Yeah,
I missed nothing.
The only thing from Disney that has been worth a damn since Avengers Endgame has been X-Men 97. That's it.
From what I understand, that's just barely.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, it took you 5 years? But, well, Obi-Wan was alright. Obi-Wan had its moments. It was better in the second half of the season than it was in the first half. But ultimately, like, so we've got this new Star Wars series called The Acolyte. Which is about, it's set in the High Republic. Now, the High Republic
is a setting that nobody knows anything about because nobody read any of the material that came out about it.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of like comic books and books that came out the writers all got on to Twitter and started shit-talking fans, so the fans did not buy the books. It's like, well, if you don't want me to buy it, I guess I will go spend my money on like a pizza or something, and I'll get a lot more enjoyment out of that. So, the comic books didn't sell, the novels didn't sell, nobody fucking cared. And it kind of just disappeared. The only thing that we heard was that David Cage, of all people, was going to do a video game set in the High Republic.
I didn't know it was in the High Republic, but I know that I am super excited. It's supposed to be called Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, it's in the High Republic timeline. So, I say timeline because... Yeah. I say timeline because, to be honest with you, it really feels like they created it as like a slice of time within Star Wars where it's completely inconsequential what happens here. You can fuck everything up and it's not going to matter.
The other thing is, in terms of Star Wars history where it's supposed to take place, yeah, you quickly get rid of all this. It kind of doesn't make sense where it is. Like, the high point of the Republic and the Jedi is 200 years before the Clone Wars. That really? I kind of feel like the high point of the Jedi would have been earlier than that. Like, maybe in the wake of the conflict in the Old Republic, or even the Sith Jedi war from the Old Republic, or even in KOTOR.
Well, yeah, I would think it would probably be after the events of SWTOR. So, regardless, whenever I think of like that, I'm just like, okay, well, it was probably going to be a whole lot of nothing. Then this gets announced, and the showrunner, because I saw the trailer for it, and the trailer was it was largely inoffensive, but it didn't really like make me excited.
That's also been a trend of trailers. I think the idea of film trailer making is a lost art. Like, there are people that still know how to do it, but none of those people get jobs. It's like some people tend to forget the point of a trailer is to make people want to go consume your product. Sometimes that does mean tricking people, because a well-edited trailer can convince you that a film is a lot better than it actually is. A lot of times, though, trailers tend to be like, here's a highlight of all the best parts of the movie, and that's more often than not. A good trailer can make or break a movie. I mean, look at the Guardians trailer. When I say the Guardians trailer, you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that trailer was so good, it pretty much changed several films. Like, we gotta make it more like this. Like, in the middle of production.
Yeah. But regardless, it was getting massively downvoted. And I'm like, what the fuck is this about? So I Googled the person that was running the show, and I really wish I had spent more time setting the buttons up, but because one that would be popping up right now would be ice screaming inside my head. Oh no. Oh boy.
I mean, it's the only justifiable response at this point.
Yeah, because the first thing I saw was, when I looked at her Wikipedia, it said, upon graduating college, Hedlund spent 6 years working an assistant at Miramax. 4 years of which was spent as Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant.
Oh no!
I'm screaming inside my head.
Yeah, because the timeline would be when he was raping a bunch of people. And she would have been setting up a lot of meetings.
So many meetings. Oh my goodness. Oh, good lord.
Mrs. Hedlund, I have a date later today. Can you bring me my sex shoes? Thank you.
Make sure the white leather couch in my office has been sprayed and disinfected and maybe even bleached. Like Jesus fucking Christ. So,
okay, my name is Harvey. This is going to be an audition, and we're just going to record this, and we're going to send your tape out, and we're going to see if some people like what they see.
yeah. Now, get rid of the bra. Don't ask questions. And have a sip of this drink. Don't worry about the thing I just slipped into it. But yeah, like
I was doing casting couch. You took it a little bit further than I was doing.
Well, so did Harvey Weinstein, so it makes sense. So when it comes right down to it, it's like it was kind of doomed at that point. And then it comes out, and like the title of this section, it's like we've titled it "Space Lesbian Communists Kill Beloved Franchise," and that is effectively what's going on. Is there's this whole section where space lesbian communists manage to make babies using the Force, which I guess means that Anakin Skywalker has older siblings, way older. And
The chosen one, my ass.
yeah. So
weirdly look nothing like the other mother, who is the same species as Darth Maul. They don't have horns. They just look like the head witch bitch. How that makes sense?
yeah, it's like this weird Force like surrogacy or something like that. And
Wait, was the other one human?
yes,
Maybe the Force is trying to tell us something. Like, what did the Force mean by this? Look, it doesn't matter what species mates with who. If the Force is involved in that process, the Force has decided humans come out on top. I don't know about this, Force. I don't know if I like the way you're thinking.
yeah, I didn't know that the Force was Richard Spencer, but regardless, with
well, humans are naturally superior to other races, as you know. That's why humans get the extra feats at level 1, and why most humans are level 1 fighters, because then they get another feat on top of that.
I mean, it checks out.
Damn.
but anyway, so the show goes on, and it is, I think, currently, Serena, you can fact check me on this. It's currently got the lowest score of any Star Wars anything on Rotten Tomatoes as a user score.
Yeah, pretty much. That's on I checked.
Yeah, I'm gonna check again. Yeah, of course critics love it because lesbians. Let's be honest. But the average, the audience, audience score is 14%. And I want to see if I can read a user review, but I don't know if they actually list them anymore. They don't. Okay.
No, you have to be like a media to get your review posted. That's one of the things. Remember, Rotten Tomatoes did a lot of changes to how their reviews work, specifically to appease Disney.
That is true, because that was during the whole Miss Marvel thing, right?
Captain
Marvel. Not Captain Marvel.
That. I think it was even as far back as The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there.
I think they determined that you couldn't just have your review score counted unless you were like a paid member of Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. I don't remember the exact details. And then in order for your review to actually be viewable, you had to be a member of media.
Yeah,
pretty sure it was Captain Marvel. They changed the rules because you had to have like a verified ticket stub to have seen the movie before you could post a review.
Yeah.
I don't know all the rules of the changes they made because I'm not a user of Rotten Tomatoes. But I do know that those rules changed, and it basically made the website kind of superfluous. Like, why even fucking have it?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is kind of like their you know, the big thing with
Their
Rotten
prerogative.
Tomatoes. Yeah. It's been something that's happened a lot with like whoever the Hollywood darling is. Like at the time it was what's her face who was in Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. Before that it was Amy Schumer. Do you guys remember when Netflix changed its rating system because of the Amy Schumer special that came out? I think it was like the leather special. Yeah, everybody fucking hated it because it was terrible.
I remember that clip they took of Amy Schumer jokes and they edited out the crowd, and there was nothing funny there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So, regardless, back on the Acolyte thing, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, even the culture warriors, it's so bad that even the culture warriors are dipping out of reviewing this. And when you've got people, and for those of you like watching at home, I say this as someone who makes money off of YouTube. It is a part-time job for me at this point. It is a good feeling when you upload a video and it gets thousands upon thousands of views. Because anybody who treats their YouTube channel like a business is going to understand how the analytics work. And specifically, are going to know the ratio of how many views equal how much dollars. And the general idea is about every 300 views, if you're monetized, provided you don't have the yellow dollar sign, for about every 300 views, you make $1. So, you know, you do the math on a video bashing a Star Wars thing that everybody thinks is shit. Like, that's a lot of views. That's a lot of money. Which, you know, am I calling certain people grifters? Yes, but I also understand why they are. Because money is nice. And it can let you do lots of cool things. So I get it. I understand the hustle. So the fact that they're like, okay, I could keep watching this, suffer through it, and then make a review about it, this episode, and then make significant bank, or I could not, and they're deciding the not making money choice over watching this, that tells me that this is probably one of the worst television shows that Disney has ever produced. And it just goes to show...
As an aside, I just want to point out that Leslie Headland has perhaps the most accurate surname ever.
Oh no. But as it goes, I'm of the opinion that this is just like beyond any political shit. This is beyond just like, do not give people that do not deserve these jobs because Leslie Headland, the shows she worked on after she allegedly fed victims to Harvey Weinstein was like all dark comedies and like documentary shit. In what fucking world is this person prepared to do Star Wars? Especially one that you want to portray as like the big return of the Sith.
I think, to be perfectly honest, this is just a symptom of an even bigger problem, and I want you to consider this. Star Wars was purchased from George Lucas, 12 years ago?
Something like that.
For like $4.5 billion. Now, if we include production costs, licensing deals, the money that's been spent on Star Wars since then, plus the initial investment, has Star Wars made a profit for Disney yet? Because I don't know. I mean, yeah, it made quite a bit of money off of The Force Awakens, but we also have to remember that, you know, the $1 billion it made theatrically is offset by the $1 billion they probably spent in making and marketing it.
Hollywood math is usually about 3 times as much.
Yeah. On top of that, the money that it makes, Disney also has to split with the distributors. Or the theater houses and all the places that are actually screening it. So that's even less of that take that comes back to Disney. You've also got the fact that the Disney toys are the toys for all the figures. haven't sold very well, so much so that the only toys that are selling are original trilogy stuff. And even those have been, on the decline. Most people don't want to do license deals with Star Wars anymore because of all of this stuff that's been going on. So that's even less money. You've got the failed Star Cruiser, all of the park things that they've added to not just one but two different Disney theme parks. So I think it's in two different locations. I think it's in Disney World and Disneyland. They got Star Wars stuff.
It is. Yep.
All of this money invested. Has Star Wars made a profit yet? Because especially when you find out the Acolyte cost, each episode cost more than the entirety of Godzilla Minus.
Yeah. Well, looking at this, I'm kind of just looking through the films. $1 billion for Rise of Skywalker. $2 billion for Force Awakens. Last Jedi made $1.334 billion. So each film made less. However, still double what it cost to make them. Is what they made.
You
so
want
that's
to go
profit.
triple, unfortunately, due to the Hollywood math. Marketing these days is usually like match budget as well as the. It's goofy. It's goofy. I hate Hollywood math so fucking much.
Yeah, your production budget doesn't include your permitting or your licensing or what else is it? Your marketing.
No, that's true.
Is set aside. The reason they do that is so that it's a trick of the books, so that they can say, look how much money it made versus this, so that it makes the film look more successful and it looks great to your shareholders.
Fair point, but ultimately the point that I'm making is like these films were making a significant amount of money, especially compared to a lot of the stuff that was coming out in the other parts of the box office. The cost of these films ranged from anywhere to about $200 million to about $400, and they're all making a range of about $1 billion to $2 billion. The lowest one that they have done film-wise is Solo. That is the one you could argue was a bomb, because it cost about $3 million to make, a little bit more than that actually, and only made about $3 million, a little over, or close to $4 million. So that one did not do that well.
I think this is a really important question, especially for Disney shareholders to consider. In the 12 years that Disney has been the steward of Star Wars, has Star Wars actually gone into the black yet? Has it become profitable yet? And if so, how much? Or is Star Wars just a millstone around Disney's neck that just keeps dragging it down? Because they've managed to make Star Wars culturally unimportant. Like, something Star Wars comes out, most people don't care anymore. Star Wars toys come out, nobody buys them. It used to be that there are people that haven't seen Star Wars, but they have the important parts they still manage to pick up just through sheer osmosis. Everybody knows that Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star. They know, Luke, I am your father. They know this, they know that. And then recently you have an interview where somebody's talking about, man, it was so cool when Anakin blew up the Death Star, that thing that he did in that movie that totally happened. Star Wars is not culturally significant anymore. And Disney did that in 12 years. You had a franchise that stayed culturally relevant and super important and extremely profitable when it went through a period of 15 years with no fucking new releases. Until the prequels showed up. And even as bad as the prequels were, it still stayed culturally relevant.
As an aside, I did the math for the movies, and they've only made about $993, or million, I should say. That's it.
No, it's nothing to shake a stick at. Plus, you also have to consider the success of The Mandalorian. And they've also had other animated things that have been not bad. Like The Bad Batch and things along those lines. So, we kind of got to wrap this subject up because we've been banging on too long about a side point. I don't think that they would be greenlighting this much shit if it wasn't making them some money. Is it as profitable as the MCU was? Fuck no. No fucking way. Not even close. But I don't think that they would continue to greenlight this. The question, I think, going forward is, because this is failing, by any stretch of the imagination, like it, as we've known for the last 7, 8, 9 years, getting people to fillet this as critics doesn't mean shit to people actually watching it. Because critics are pompous windbags. I would know, I am one. So the question is, like, how much longer are we going to do this song and dance? How much longer are we going to keep feeding this film series, which I believe the original trilogy are all in the Library of Congress, like, so for cultural relevance.
Yes.
How long are we going to continue to feed this to a bunch of people that have no fucking clue what they're doing? Hatman, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say that, yes, they were all added to the Library of Congress for preservation.
Yeah. So, it boggles my mind, but you know what? It's their money to lose. Selling Star Wars is not hard. George Lucas, paved the road for it. And then before him, Joseph Campbell paved the road because that's who Lucas is very adherent to. Every good Star Wars story has followed the Joseph Campbell Hero of a Thousand Faces thing. You get away from it, you get the Acolyte. You stick with it, you get stuff like The Mandalorian. Stuff that people actually want to watch. So Disney, stop fucking it up. Alright, we gotta move on. Speaking of needing to move on, there's a rule on YouTube. It's an unwritten rule among content creators. Do not attack a content creator who is more popular and more well-loved than you are, unless you have a really good goddamn reason to. A good goddamn reason to is like when Logan Paul was attacked by CoffeeZilla for scamming people with NFT shit. A really bad idea is to go after a content creator that is effectively like one of the most beloved figures on YouTube, and is people commonly compared to a Labrador. He just wants to be your friend. This gentleman's name is Wendigoon, and the attacker is an idiot with a fucking pedo mustache named something about shit. Man, what's this fucker's name?
Souls? I don't even remember.
No, it wasn't that. It was something Shadows.
In Search of Shadows?
It was In Search of Shadows or something like that. This dude is he's a bread tuber.
In Praise of Shadows is his name.
That's it. Thank you. Hatman, for those playing the home game, explain what the bread tuber is.
A bread tuber is named after Peter Kropotkin's book In Conquest of Bread, which is basically an anarcho-communist manifesto. And BreadTube refers to basically anarcho-communists on YouTube spreading anarcho-communist bullshit.
And this dude is no different. He put out a video. The first thing is like this dude was kind of on the ropes because he made one of the dumbest decisions that you could make, and it is being media illiterate. So he does a video.
God.
Yeah, he does a video about The Hills Have Eyes, the original one by Wes Craven. Who all in here has seen it? You can't actually see us raising our hands. I'm raising mine.
I have actually not seen it.
It's one of the few things
I've only
that
seen the remake.
need to catch up on.
Like, I haven't seen the original.
Okay, well, the remake isn't like that different in overall plot. So, this dude asked the question of the acts of the Jupiter family. Are they not justified? And it gets
They're
better.
not.
It gets better. He compares them. Keep in mind, the Jupiter family in the course of this film rape a teenage girl, murder several people. One of them is crucified and burned alive. They eat people.
Yep.
And the people in the film that they're doing this to, the only thing they did wrong was crash their car.
Took a wrong
End up in the
turn,
wrong place.
crashed the car.
Yeah. So, on top of all of this, he then compares this group of people doing these things to Native Americans and black people.
Ugh.
Well, why should they get special treatment?
Wow,
they
that's
crashed their
racist.
car? That's just crash privilege right there.
Well, I was going to say, Serena, if somebody crashes a car in your neighborhood, is the neighborhood's reaction, we're going to rape and eat this person?
No. What the fuck? No.
Right?
Let's see if this person's okay first. Is a person alive? Are they breathing?
So that answers that. Mike, being you are a native, is that your community's reaction to such a thing happening in your area?
I know around here they'd be all right, but I don't know about the res so much. Well, I mean, people disappear, but they're around all the time. I mean, it's a thing.
Jesus. But the overall point is that it's like, what the actual fuck, dude? Like, and so he does another video. And the average, hey man, what would you say like the average bread tuber video essay is? It's like 1 or 2 hours, right?
Oh
Ugh.
God, it can go anywhere from like half an hour to 3 hours.
Yeah, so this dude goes like the max time that like you see a bread tuber do it. 3 fucking hours.
I think he went over it. Yeah, I think it was 4 hours actually.
Yeah, it was really
It was
long.
4.
It's sectioned into 3 parts. And first off, the video is like pretentious as fuck. Like the first section where he's whining about, so this guy is from Hatman's neck of the close to his neck of the woods. Because Hatman is in North Carolina.
Not close to my neck of the woods.
Well, it's from your
He's in
state.
he's in North Carolina, but he's from Asheville. Asheville is like if San Francisco got transplanted to the south. That's not my
Jesus.
neck of the woods.
Wolf.
So I'm trying to think of like when Xavier and I came into North Carolina last year, how far away it is from where we were at. Because I don't think we drove through Gatlinburg, did we?
So you would say opposite side of the state?
It's North Mountains. It's deep in the mountains.
Yeah, because I don't think we go through.
We went through the mountains.
We didn't go through Tennessee though, so we wouldn't have gone through Asheville.
But we did go through the mountains because I remember I told you, I said, hey, you go coming up on the left here, you're gonna see a killer view.
Oh yeah, that was gorgeous. I took quite a few pictures of that.
Did y'all go through the Blue Ridge Parkway?
Yeah, I took I paid the toll roads because it was faster.
Okay, so y'all were
nice,
up in
easy
like the
ramp.
northern part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So if y'all had kept going like southwest basically from where y'all came in, you would eventually hit Asheville.
Okay. But regardless, So the first part of this is this dude's complaining about a horror convention in North Carolina that Kevin Spacey was at.
Oh, yes. Shit. I know the convention. Yes, they got into some hot water for hosting Kevin Spacey.
Which
I'm trying to...
I can understand, although, Kevin Spacey was not convicted of anything. The only reason he wasn't convicted is because all of his accusers mysteriously died. So that's
A little off-putting.
Well, not all of them mysteriously died.
Yeah.
Some of them just didn't have enough evidence to make their case.
Yeah. It's called Mad Monster, from what I'm seeing here.
Yes, Bad Monster Con. Yes, yeah,
Which...
they got into some hot water because when people were calling them out on Facebook for it, they were just like blocking people from their page.
Yeah.
Like they got into some deep shit.
And by the way, that sort of criticism is completely warranted. But this
absolutely.
This dude paid for tickets. Bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you giving him money? Are you stupid? Wait, sorry, don't answer that. I think I know it. I think I know the answer. But, man alive, like, just the, so that was dumb. Then the second section is him bitching about his Hills Have Eyes video. And he's reading off comments that are roasting the fuck out of him. And, yeah, it's hilarious because, all of the comments were fucking based. All of them. They were like, dude, what the fuck is your... Why are you trying to put in your personal politics in a movie about fucking cannibals that eat people? The fuck is wrong with you?
As opposed to cannibals that don't eat people.
Fair point. But... it's like, why are you trying to do this? Like, it's not working. And then other people caught on to the fact that he was basically excusing rape. Mr. Uber feminist here. Like, so that was a thing. But the third part is he makes the mistake of going after Wendigoon. Now, it is default that bread tubers call everyone they don't like racist or a Nazi. And that's basically what Vaush has built his brand on. Yeah, or fascist. That's basically what Vaush has built his brand on, right? And what boggles my mind is his reasoning. Apparently at one point, when Wendigoon, because Wendigoon's young, he's in his early 20s. He apparently was on a website where he talked with some people that were part of the Boogaloo Boys. He kind of realized, oh, I probably shouldn't be around here, and he got out of Dodge. Shadow dipshit here. He tried to allege that Wendigoon founded them because he wears a Hawaiian shirt. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, amazing. 10 out of 10.
So I guess the Boogaloo Boys are completely made up of everybody's uncle. Because everybody has that one uncle that wears Hawaiian t-shirts, right?
Yeah. For those of you who don't remember Bobby's World, Uncle Ted. That's what Uncle Ted was known for. He wore those Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, I'm an uncle. I wear Hawaiian shirts. I've been wearing Hawaiian shirts since I was 14. So back in the year 2000. So apparently I
fucking comfortable.
Exactly. But apparently, guys, I founded the Boogaloo Boys in the year 2000, years before they existed. Clearly, I am like a Time Lord or some bullshit. But
Micah, why would you found such a racist group? I thought he was Jewish.
It's because he was trying to overturn the 2000
Shh. The Goyim can't know. Okay? The Goyim can't know. But no, in all seriousness, so that's stupid. He also says because he hangs out with gun tubers, like Brendan Herrera or Garantham or a few of those other guys, who are like all for.
He likes to hang out with friends and shoot funds.
Well, it's like he's from Red Country. He grew up with guns and military guys as his friends. Of course, he's gonna feel comfortable there. And he also gets on him for, he supported Kyle Rittenhouse, which I'm not going to get into the politics of such things, but there is a fact about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. He didn't murder anybody, and he didn't go there looking to kill people. That's been proven in court. He was acquitted.
According to the state law, he had no duty to retreat in any of those situations, and he retreated first in every single instance.
Yep. So, but he basically tried to frame Kyle Rittenhouse as a racist, even though everybody Kyle Rittenhouse shot was white, and on top of that, I think all three of them were felons, two of whom had sexually based crimes.
2 out of 3 of them were pedos. 2 out of 3 were pedos, which begs the question: if you shoot 3 people and 2/3 of them are pedos,
well, actually,
how
let me
does that
see.
make the rest of them look?
Let me see. No, he shot a. That is extremely unlikely. Okay, so he shot a pedo in the head and the dick, and let's see. Then he shot a guy that was arrested for strangling his wife in the lungs, and then he shot a burglar in the arm.
Who was
I failed to
illegally
see
carrying
what
a firearm,
was
by the
wrong.
way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's irony coming at you at muzzle velocity. That's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was also the alleged messaging between that person and friends that had Kyle not shot him, he was going to shoot him.
Yeah.
It's alleged because, although there were photographs of that statement, he said he didn't do that, and the lines of the hearsay.
Yeah, it is what it is. But the overall point being that there is a, he was acquitted by a court of his peers, and he was basically lying about that case and trying to act like being supportive of Kyle Rittenhouse and the ability to defend yourself somehow makes you evil, which to any sensible human being, that's fucking bullshit. And then the final one is he tried to allege that Wendigoon was a racist for referencing the legend of the Wendigo. And he even tried to say that because Wendigoon was from America, that there's no way that his grandfather, who is Native American, could know about the Wendigo. Mike, would you like to explain how bullshit that is?
Okay. I'm gonna get away from the microphone a little bit. And I'm gonna fucking start yelling. I fucking hate this shit. I fucking hate this shit. This is the reason why we're gonna end up on the fucking pyre of history. Because god damn it, everything gets put on the fucking. Oh, I hate this shit for fuck's sake. God damn. Something interesting. It's like, oh no, the white man can't fucking use it because it's cultural appropriation. You want to know what fucking culture? Oh, I swear to God, I fucking hate it. I hate the concept because all it ends up doing is putting everything interesting about every other culture into a fucking little box that nobody can fucking touch, and then when the original people just fucking die, that's it. They're gone. Nobody can touch that idea anymore. It's just it's as if it may as well be as if the original culture didn't fucking exist anymore. Oh, I hate it so fucking much. Anyway, I'm back to the microphone.
Okay. Now let's talk about the concept of the Wendigo specifically, because the legend originated from your neck of the woods, didn't it?
It's oh goodness, it's a I believe it is more of a It's a corruption of the word Wendigo, which means cannibal.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Wendigo.
I was gonna say I only know about the whole Wendigo thing from that video game Until Dawn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's more of an Algonquin thing, which is, as far as I can tell, I'm Cree, and Algonquins are the more like the Eastern Canada sort of people. So, what a Wendigo is, it's not, or a Wendigo, um, it's a man who's been possessed by a Manitou who's extraordinarily hungry. It doesn't turn them into like a deer face thing or deer horn thing or like a deer skull thing. It makes them hunger for flesh. And it just makes them extraordinarily cannibalistic. And it just keeps in those people that do get possessed by it, they just fucking hunger and hunger and hunger for human flesh. It's a distressing thing, because like it's not like one of those things where you don't want to talk about it, like the Navajo skinwalkers, because if you feed the skinwalker fear, or you talk about it in fear, then you make it more powerful. In this case, they are more or less just like a manifestation of like that primal fear that this whole civilization thing might just be a facade, and then we at any one point we can go back to the times where everything was just flesh eating flesh. That's just it. It's one of the more off-putting legends, to be honest. Oh God.
And to be honest, I think that's what makes it so compelling. Is like it's horrifying.
Because it can happen to anybody. But it's more specifically that they always say that it's only going to happen if you eat human flesh in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one of the few circumstances in which most people are like, okay, well, I don't have any food anymore. There's only this person nearby. Let's eat them. And then, oh, well, now you're possessed.
Yeah.
By the Manitou. And it's from there. It's just like it's. I don't know how to explain it. It's just my thoughts are rambling right now because I'm so chipped. Oh, I'm still fucking mad. I hate the cult appropriation idea so fucking much.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And this is kind of what gets my goat about this. It's like the dude who did this is basically, apparently he went into his own Discord server and said, "Do you guys think I could come back from this?" Pedo Stash guy. The answer is no. The answer is no. You can't come back from doing a 3-hour video where you're basically the soy jack of the enraged face over the smug face, or under the smug face, and think that people are going to buy it. Like, you fucked up. And by the way, I say this as a reviewer. Everybody has a bad review. Everybody has one that they regret. I recently did a re-review of Gundam the Witch from Mercury because my original one sucked. And it was rushed and I hated it. And that's why I unlisted it and I did the new one. And the new one's a lot better and was a lot more well received. It happens. Like, it's not something worth being pissed off about or blaming the audience for pointing out the flaws in your arguments. That's going to happen. And sometimes you should pay attention to these things and ask yourself, am I an idiot? Or am I wrong here? And come to the conclusion on whether or not you are. And don't just ask yourself that. You're not Kotaku. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there is once a point where Kotaku investigated itself and found no wrongdoing. The way that it is that everybody has a bad one. And the way you could have came back from this is come back, like said, like with a bit of, first off, you don't do the Wendigoon thing. You don't do the fucking convention thing. You talk about the Hills Have Eyes thing again, and you talk about your perspective, and then you talk about the perspective of the people who disagree with you. And maybe if you want to make content out of that, you just say, well, here, so let me expand on my perspective a little bit on what I meant. And let me know in the comments below if you think I'm off track, or if you think that, you know, with a little bit more explanation, what I was trying to do makes a little bit more sense. And just let the comments flow. Because if you do that, you're getting engagement, you're getting hits, and that's good for the algorithm. And on top of that, you just might learn something, and your community will respect you that much more. Because not everybody can be me and just lambast Gundam Seed fans all the time. Because that show sucks, and no, I'm not stopping.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's objective fact at this point.
Yes. Alright, folks. We have reached the end of our program. But before we go, Hatman, my business partner, my partner in podcasting for 5 years, I think? Something like that?
Something like that. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Hatman and I we've been friends ever since the Meme War. And
Meme War, which celebrates its 10th year this year.
Yep. And for about half that time we've been business partners. And, you know, we started with Sleepless Comics. That has expanded into Grindstone. Before you make your announcement, I am going to say this as sincerely as I can. Actually, you don't know. Make your announcement first, and then I'll say my thing.
So, for those of y'all who have been listening to, watching, reacting, sending us cringe for Micah and the Hat Man, just engaging with us and whatnot. Y'all have known me. Y'all have known the show as Micah and the Hat Man. But come August, I will be going to law school. I will be hanging up the hat and putting on a new one, as it were. It's a big change. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, but never really thought that it was possible for me. But I just decided to go for it, and I'm doing it. I've got a full scholarship to a great school. I can't wait to start. It's going to be great, but for the most part, this is probably going to be the last time you hear from me, barring some kind of one-off or two-off, or whenever I get called back in for an absolute must-have Hatman moment. But this is, for the regular podcast, this is the end of my road. The Hatman is, again, hanging up the hat.
Yep. Hatman will be as On the Grind evolved from Mike and the Hatman, Hatman will be evolving into Lawyer Man.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, you know, Alex, you've been with me through some of the darkest moments of my life over the last decade. Aside from being a business partner, you have been as good of a friend as I could ask for. And there's not another person, honestly, out there that I would rather have as a business partner than you and as a friend. So I'm going to miss doing the show with you a lot, but I'm also proud of the fact that, you know, we've accomplished everything that we've accomplished together. And the big thing is that I think now more than ever, despite, you know, dealing with depression and the other shit that I deal with, I think I'm more optimistic now about what the future holds than ever. And I think that I wouldn't have this attitude if you weren't my partner in all of this. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being with me through all this bullshit that we've gone through together and that we're coming out on the other side of soon. you know, I'm actually a little
It has
choked
been an
up.
honor. It has been an honor.
So, so yeah, starting next week, our head of marketing, Wayne, will be coming in to hold on to Hatman's chair, keep it warm in case he wants to, you know, if he's ever able to come back and hang out on occasion or what have you. And, you know, the show will go on. And we'll go ahead and close this out with a few announcements. If you're watching the video version of this, you'll have seen that we do have several offerings on crowdfunding for books that are produced by the company. Black Rhapsody, Serena's book, the first issue you can still get a copy of if you would like to on Indiegogo. The same with my novella, American Monsters, the Genesis of Project Lazarus, which is edited by Hatman. Also, Englewood, books 1 and 2 are available on Kickstarter for a limited time. And those, all you have to do is search Englewood on Kickstarter and you will find them. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, it's in the description. And then finally on the roll, of course, 3 Nights, 4 Days. You know, that's a book that's not going to come out for a while, so might as well get your orders in while you can. So, any final words, everybody?
Oh, heck no! I think you.
You know what? No, there's one final thing that we have to do for the Hatman's last run.
Oh.
Everybody's got to shame the Hatman just one last time.
I don't have the button up, but I will say the thing. Everyone shame the Hatman!
Shame the Hatman!
Shame!
We had to bury
Shame!
You on we had to bury
Shame!
you on Mars because no self-respecting cemetery would take you. Shame.
Shame the Hatman!
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Oh, man. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close. Thank you all for listening to the very first episode of On the Grind. We will be back next week with more interesting stories, some that are already starting to develop that we're definitely interested in discussing, and, of course, getting your guys' reactions to what's going on in the world of entertainment, spoken about by entertainers such as us. So on that note, for Hatman, for Xavier, for Serena, for Mike, my name is Micah Curtis, President / CEO / co-owner of Grindstone Arts. Have yourselves a great week. We will see you next time.